Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really powerful sermon from Dr. Joshua Nichols, who's both a PhD and a pastor. This message on Psalm 144 comes from his series From Pilgrimage to Praise, and it centers on this incredible idea that God's grace doesn't just save us, it guards us.
Now, this deep dive is based on the teachings of Faithful to the Word Ministries. If you want to explore more resources or maybe support their work, they are a 501c3 organization. You can find everything you need at faithfultotheword.com. Okay, let's dive into this.
So this right here is the heart of the whole teaching. The idea that God's grace isn't some one-and-done event that happened in the past. No, it's an active, ongoing force that actually sustains and protects us through all of life's challenges. It's not just saving grace, it's guarding grace.
So how does this guarding grace actually play out? Well, Dr. Nichols shows us how Psalm 144 lays it out in 5 distinct movements. We're going to follow this journey, and you'll see how it moves from the total chaos of war to the calm of true blessing.
All right, let's jump into our first section. David, the warrior king, he starts this psalm, but he doesn't begin with strategy or battle plans. He starts with worship. And right there, that reveals a huge truth. Real victory starts the moment we acknowledge the true source of our strength.
I mean, just look at these opening verses. They are absolutely packed with these powerful metaphors for God. David isn't boasting about his own skill at all. Instead, he's giving all the glory to God as his complete protector, his fortress, and even his personal trainer.
Now, what's really interesting is that very first title David uses, my rock. In Hebrew, that word is tsur, and it means an unshakable, immovable foundation. So David's saying that his security isn't in his army, it's not in his weapons, it's in God's faithfulness. That's the constant in a world of chaos.
And then he gets even more intimate with this next term, hesed. This isn't just any love. It's a steadfast, loyal, promise-keeping kind of love. It means God's protection flows from a deep, personal relationship. The strength he has is founded on love.
So this is a brilliant pivot. After celebrating God's immense power, you'd think David would feel totally invincible, right? But he does the exact opposite. He turns and moves to a place of profound humility.
He asks this question not from a place of despair, but from a place of just sheer wonder. He's basically looking up and saying, God, you are infinite, you are eternal. Why would you even concern yourself with me, a finite, fragile creature?
Now, this question might sound a lot like Psalm 8, but the tone is completely different. In Psalm 8, you've got this young shepherd looking up at the stars, amazed at humanity's high position. Here, you've got a battle-worn king looking at his own mortality, just stunned that God notices him at all. And to drive the point home, David uses 2 powerful images to describe just how temporary we are. He says we're like Hevel. Think of a puff of air on a cold day, just there for a second, and then gone. And we're like a passing shadow, visible but with no substance of our own, totally dependent on a greater light.
This profound sense of need, of frailty, it leads David directly into his next movement, an urgent, desperate cry for God to step out of heaven and right into the middle of history.
He's praying for what's called a theophany, basically a visible, overwhelming manifestation of God's power. He's asking God to literally bend the heavens and enter into his mess.
This imagery immediately calls back to Mount Sinai, where God's mere presence made the mountains tremble and smoke. It's a pretty stark reminder that the things in our lives that seem completely immovable, well, they're easily moved by God.
And here's the crucial point. It's a plea for rescue. Those great waters he mentions, they symbolize chaos, overwhelming danger, and evil. David knows, deep in his bones, that only God's hand can reach down and pull him out.
And then, in this stunning turn, David's desperate prayer completely transforms into praise. He starts to sing, not after the battle is over, but right in the middle of it.
He promises to sing a new song. And this isn't just about a new tune. It's a powerful declaration of faith. It's saying that God's promises are so certain, so reliable, that you can actually start celebrating the victory in advance.
And the reason for his song is crystal clear. He recognizes that salvation belongs to the Lord. It doesn't matter who you are. No one, not even a powerful king, ever outgrows their need for grace.
Okay, let's move to the final section and see how this whole journey wraps up. The Psalms started in the heat of battle, but it ends with this beautiful, breathtaking vision of peace and flourishing.
David prays for this holistic peace, the biblical idea of shalom,
that touches every single part of life. He's talking about thriving families, prosperous and meaningful work in safe communities. It's a vision of total well-being.
And here it is. This is the ultimate takeaway. As absolutely wonderful as all these blessings are, David makes it clear they are not the main price. The true blessing isn't the gifts themselves, it's the giver.
So we've just traced the whole path of this guarding grace. We've gone from the battlefield all the way to the blessing field. And it shows that God's active, personal care is with us at every single season of life.
You know, if this exploration of Psalm 144 has really resonated with you, I want to encourage you to check out faithfultotheword.com. You can find more resources there, you can make a donation to support their ministry, and you can also purchase Dr. Nichols' new book, which is called Between Two Trees.
And that leaves us with this final thought. If the relationship with God is the true reward, it really reframes everything else, doesn't it? The good and the bad. Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining This Explainer.